been on a journey. You're here today, but I understand that earlier in your life, you've had some challenges that makes it kind of amazing,
right?
I guess to see you standing here today. What help us understand the journey you've been on?
Well, like you said earlier in my life, I made some poor decisions, and as a man, I take full responsibility of those decisions. I honestly didn't have a reason why I made those decisions. I just didn't have any direction, and what I mean by that was self-direction. My mom was there, my dad was there, but it comes a time when yourself need to know what you want to do in life, and I just didn't know what I wanted to do and what I was good at. So it just led me to stuff that it was easy access me to do, and I got caught up in some trouble.
So age 14?
14. And to be honest, at age of 14 was when I was actually introduced to marijuana. And from there, I just started being experienced into a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm. So you got, at age 14, you were convicted of a felony?
Correct.
What charge?
I was charged with robbery of a firearm. And that was my first time actually going through any jail system, first charge ever, and they direct filed me, so.
14, but how come they didn't treat you as a juvenile?
They say because of the firearm, simply because of the firearm. Juvenile at one point, and I think it was too late in the case. I had already done about 15 months in 33rd. They tried to come back and do a pre-sentence investigation, and it was like, we're gonna try to fight to get you back to the juvenile system. And it was like, if you come back, most times we can sentence you to a 3-year program. And I was like, well, I already did 15 months in here, and I can't get none of this time served. They didn't want to give me none of the time served. Well, I was like, well, let me just see what they're gonna do to me in the adult record. And not saying if that option would have came up more, I think I would have took it, but the judge wasn't even allowing me, wasn't really kind of paying attention into it. Well, state wasn't agreeing with them taking me back to the juvenile system. So, and I had a fair judge, late Bob Waters. He was a very fair judge.
Yeah, I know Bob Waters.
And very fair, and he's the reason why I didn't get 10 years, to be honest.
Wow. So what was your sentence?
I was sentenced to a youth offender plea. John Richter, and Bob Waters had a nice connection. John Richter helped me out, and me and Bob Waters made a deal. It was like, if you go back and get your high school diploma, think about not giving you 10 years. So, and I ended up getting a youth offender plea. That's what we asked for, and he kind of granted that. State didn't want to do it. They just kept saying 10 years mandatory, but, he just was like, I'm not going to say I'm going to let you walk free, but I think about not giving you 10, but it played out very well.
So how much time did you actually stand?
So out of the youth offender plea, you can't get no more than 6 years. You can get 6 years probation, 6 years prison time. I got a split sentence, 2 years in, 4 years on probation. So I did 15 months in 33rd, then I had to do 8 more months in actual prison. Then I got out with 4 years of probation, and I did 2 years and got the other 2 years terminated because of good behavior.
Wow, so you had to go to an adult prison?
Yep. I was at Indian River Correctional Facility. Everyone there was no more than 19. And once you turn 19, you get shipped where all the other ages or the adults at. So they keep us sheltered until we're actually 19. And if you pass 19, you go right where all the men and that. So.
What are the lessons for you? What are the lessons from? Because I see you here today, and it's hard for me to imagine you doing anything wrong. It's
right.
hard for me to imagine you going to prison. It's hard for me to imagine you survive in prison. What have you learned on this journey?
And it's crazy because in school you always see these signs: think before you act. And I never, took that concept and really thought about it, what it means. And now I just think before I do anything. It's like, it could be something, whether it's something good or bad, I always think what it's going to lead to me, what is the consequences, whether it's going to be an outweigh or good. So I definitely think before I act now. And that was the biggest lesson that I stick with.
What, in terms of the way you were treated, what could have been better? What could have been, because it sounds like you're taking ownership for whatever the actual offense was.
Right.
But in terms of, did they have to put you through all that?
And I say no, and the only reason I say that, I sit on the board right now and we're fighting for juveniles in the state of Florida to stop direct filing juveniles. And one of the people that sat on the board with me was a brain surgeon, and I'm still blue by this. This guy actually sat in front of judges, state prosecutors, and told them that a juvenile brain is not the same as an adult brain. So why we're convicting them and trying them as an adults when their brains can't even develop yet? So it's like, that situation just blew my mind.